This May, you will rebuild broken worlds, battle impossible odds, and chase the dream of a simpler life. But not every quest ends in victory. Stick around, some surprises are waiting where you least expect them. Imagine this. You are quietly fixing wires, you hear footsteps. You turn around and boom, you are face to face with a very guilty looking crewmate. Welcome to Among Us 3D. Launching May 6th, Among Us 3D takes everything you love and hate about trusting your friends and cranks it up into full first-person 3D chaos. No more top-down safety net. Now it's you, your instincts, and the sound of someone fake coughing as they sneak up behind you, thanks to the built-in proximity voice chat. And get this, you can even play with your friends who are in VR. Yup, Among Us 3D has crossplay with the VR version. Just don't expect to team up with players still stuck in 2D land. No crossplay with the 2018 original. The game supports up to 10 players, classic crew size. But somehow, being able to look someone in the eye while accusing them makes the whole thing way juicier. Plus, they've overhauled the minigames for first-person play, so fumbling your way through a sabotage fix feels even more intense when you're right up against the wires. And of course, your beloved bean Sonas are back and even better dressed. With hats, gloves, full-on skins and more cosmetics to properly accessorize your inevitable betrayal. So, here's the real question. Will being face-to-face with your friends make it harder to lie? Or way easier? The world has gone quiet, except for the sound of your machine, rolling forward into the unknown. Survival Machine isn't just about surviving, it's about keeping your moving fortress going. Fresh into early access on May 7th, Survival Machine lets you and up to 3 friends build and defend a colossal walking base in online co-op. By day, you are out there, gathering resources, crafting new gear, combining blueprints, and constantly upgrading your machine. Because when night hits, the real fight begins. Zombies don't wait for an invitation. They will swarm your machine, climbing, clawing, breaking through your defenses if you're not ready. And it's not just about brute force. Exploration is packed with puzzles, hidden secrets, and tools like ziplines and gliders to help you scout ahead and stay alive. Right now, there's only one biome to track through, but more are coming. And while the game's packed with features, it still is early access, so expect a few rough edges and maybe a bit less depth than what's promised down the road. And another fair warning, don't expect a big epic story here. This one's all about the moment-to-moment survival chaos. And while the feature list is pretty stacked, it might feel a little spread thin in places. Kind of like butter over too much bread. Or, defenses over too much zombie. Still, upgrading your machine into a zombie-slaying tank sounds pretty satisfying. It's just you, your crew, and the question, how far can you keep your machine moving when the world itself is falling apart behind you? If you thought surviving on a giant moving fortress was intense, wait until your entire base grows teeth. Next up is Railgods of Hystera, a co-op survival journey where your trusty machine isn't just big, it's alive. Launching into early access on May 7, this one takes 1 to 5 players on a post-apocalyptic ride straight through a Lovecraftian nightmare. Here, you're not just managing a base, you're commanding a monstrous evolving train that literally feeds you power, if you can keep it satisfied. Craft weapons, upgrade your living locomotive, and explore a shifting, procedurally generated world where every step forward feels like peeling back another layer of madness. Of course, it wouldn't be a true Eldritch survival without a catch. You will need to balance your supplies and your sanity. The deeper you go, the more reality itself starts to twist around you. All while the great old ones watch from the shadows, waiting for your next mistake. But while the setting is interesting, some game design choices were a bit of a headache for us when playing the demo, which is still up if you want to try it out. In multiplayer, the host is the conductor and has superior rights, which cannot be shared. Others cannot drive the train, not leave it as they wish, or enter the cab to feed the railgod. Combined with a messy inventory and pretty simplistic combat, we hope for more improvements down the rail. After surviving monstrous trains and sanity-eating nightmares, it's probably time for something a little less horrifying. Or at least horrifying in a much goofier way. Revenge of the Savage Planet launches May 8, and it's bringing back the colorful, chaotic spirit of the first game, but now even bigger, weirder, and somehow even more corporate. This time around, you and a friend, in couch co-op or online with crossplay, will jump, whip, grind, slide, grapple and goo your way across not one, but 9 different planets. The world itself is packed with ridiculous alien creatures to catch, new gear to unlock, and enough hidden secrets to fill your trailer with trophies. Or junk. Depends how seriously you take space clutter. The tone, pure satire. Think goofy survival meets corporate dystopia, where the end of the world is somehow both adorable and extremely mockable. They have added a ton more creatures and chaos right before launch, and they are even giving away the original Journey to the Savage Planet for free if you grab this during the first month, with a launch discount. But not everything's sunshine and slapstick. Humor is tricky. Some players love the first game's jokes, others not so much. Plus, with all the collectibles, exploration and creature wrangling, it could end up feeling a bit grindy if you're not in the right mood. Still, if you're looking for a game where you can blast off to absurd planets, wrangle alien weirdos, and laugh at your impending doom, this might be your perfect chaotic escape. Alright, you have jumped across alien worlds, survived corporate space nonsense. Now, how about building your own little universe? Sounds amazing, right? Maybe a little too amazing. Cubic Odyssey is setting out to do what every space explorer dreams of, giving you a galaxy to shape with your own 2 hands. Launching on May 14th with online co-op for up to 5 players, plus crossplay and even local co-op on Xbox, it's a full-blown open-world adventure where everything, the planets, the cities, even the spaceships, can be crafted from colorful voxels. Visually, it's like someone mashed up Minecraft and No Man's Sky, sprinkled in RPG progression, and told you to go save the galaxy from a mysterious threat called the Red Darkness. There is seamless travel from ground to sky to outer space, a main story to follow, bustling cities to discover, and every star you see in the sky actually has habitable planets orbiting it. It's ambitious, it's beautiful, it's concerning. Because, let's be honest, we've heard promises like this before. No Man's Sky flashbacks intensify. The scope sounds insane, maybe too insane. Procedurally generated worlds are great, but if every planet feels the same, or if the whole universe ends up feeling shallow, it's gonna sting hard. Still, there's something charming about Cubic Odyssey's vibe. The colorful worlds, the creative building, a polished look, the sense that maybe, just maybe, it will pull off the dream game some of us keep chasing. You know that feeling when you come home from work and immediately wish you could work some more? Yeah, me neither. But Roadcraft thinks you might. Launching May 20 for 1 to 4 players, Roadcraft puts you in charge of rebuilding disaster-struck regions. Clearing rubble, fixing collapsed bridges, recycling broken bits into new materials, all while driving heavy machinery that's way cooler than anything your real boss lets you touch. Thanks to the physics engine from MudRunner and SnowRunner, everything feels weighty, stubborn, and extremely capable of flipping you into a ditch if you're not careful. Terrain shifts, being stuck in mud, every load has real weight. It's like Mother Nature herself is daring you to fix what she broke. You will have over 40 machines at your disposal, spread across 8 huge biomes, each with their own little sad story of destruction. And your job is to bring them back to life, ideally without arguing with your friends over whose bulldozer accidentally knocked down the bridge you just rebuilt. Sure, it could get repetitive. Sure, it might sometimes feel less like a thrilling adventure and more like volunteering for extra overtime you don't get paid for. But there's something deeply satisfying about fixing a world one scoop of dirt at a time, especially when the dirt physics are this good. So if you're the kind of person who finds zen in diesel fumes, endless mud and construction cones, Roadcraft is waiting. Clock in when you're ready. After rebuilding broken roads and flooded towns, maybe it's time to build something a little more magical. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, opens the door to a world where work doesn't feel like work. It feels like an adventure. Launching with online co-op and 2-player couch co-op, this slow life RPG lets you pick from 14 different lives, including artist, blacksmith, magician and farmer. And you're not locked in. You can switch between jobs whenever you like. The life system goes a lot deeper than what you'd find in something like Stardew Valley. Cooking a meal, for example, isn't just pressing a button. It's chopping, frying, stirring, and actually mastering the craft. On top of that, you can shape the island itself, build roads, decorate your house, help villagers with theirs, and really leave your mark. It all sits on top of a story straight out of a classic JRPG, complete with familiar faces from the series and plenty of new ones too. Exploration is fully open. Climb cliffs, swim across rivers, and stumble into hidden dungeons, either solo or with friends, or with the mysterious objects that can be your companions. Fantasy Life I isn't about rushing through tasks. It's about slowing down, taking it all in, and building a world together. After a few cozy fantasy lives, it's time to dream a little bigger, like reshaping an entire world bigger. Launching into early access on May 29th, Bitcraft Online is an ambitious new MMORPG aiming for one single, massive, seamless world shared by everyone. No servers, no shards, just you, thousands of others, and an endless wilderness waiting to be carved into civilization. From gathering materials and crafting tools to raising cities and running economies, everything here is built by players. You can find a quiet corner of the map and live the peaceful life of a fisher or farmer, or join forces with others to tame the wilds, build great cities, and maybe even change the course of history itself. And all the while, it has a minimalistic yet whimsical look to it, like a blend of the best parts of Sky, Children of the Light, mixed with some Albion Online. It's a bold vision, full terraforming, a player-driven economy, evolving world events, and long-term progression designed to grow over years. The question is, can it hold together? Because building a truly free world comes with real challenges. Bots, imbalanced economies, performance problems in a world this big, and, of course, the eternal question of how it will all be paid for once the doors open to everyone. During early access, the game costs around $30, while after full launch, it will be free to play. There will also be a cash shop for cosmetics, which sounds fine, right? Well, players will also be able to trade their currency for marketplace items. And we all know how that usually ends. But for those who don't mind player advantages in a non-competitive game, and instead love the idea of starting from nothing and building something real, something that lasts, Bitcraft feels like the beginning of a story that players will write together. When the night falls over the lands between, there's no surviving it alone. Elden Ring Night Rain is From Software's ambitious new spin-off, taking the brutal combat you know and forging it into a fast-paced 3-player cooperative experience. Launching May 30, Night Rain drops players into a living map that shrinks and shifts over 3 in-game days, ending in a massive boss battle where only the strongest teams survive. You will choose from unique Nightfarers, each with their own skills and ultimate abilities, designed to work together in powerful synergies. Traversal is faster and more vertical too, with new moves like soaring on ghostly eagles across the battlefield. But here's the part you need to know. It requires 3 players. There's no solo mode, No classic 2-player runs. If you don't have a full team, the game will match you with random players to fill the gap. And that could seriously shape your experience for better or worse. From Software has mentioned plans to maybe add 2-player teams in the future. But at launch, you will need 3 players. No way around it if that's a deal breaker for you. Each session resets your character progression, but you will carry forward relics, offering small, permanent upgrades over time and encouraging replayability. Still, questions remain. Without the deep storytelling Elden Ring is famous for, and with content resetting every run, will the experience stay fresh for long? Or will it need major updates down the line to keep the night alive? One thing's for sure. In Night Rain, survival isn't about being the strongest. It's about finding the right hands to fight beside, and hoping they don't falter when the darkness comes. But that's all for today. We hope you found something exciting to play for the next month. Have fun out there in co-op with your favorite people, and we will see you again in the next one.